everyone, Janie here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a gift box that is 6 inches by 6 inches by 1 inch deep, and at the end of the video I will tell you how to make adjustments for different size boxes. For the box I'm making, I'm using this Coca Rosa Reindeer and Forest background cutting die from In Love Arts, and I'll have a link to this below in the description box. And there are many possibilities with this die, and I will just be using it in the simplest yet elegant way. And I'll be using this Recollections gold foil cardstock for the bottom half of the box, and I've cut that to 7 7/8 inches by 7 7/8 inches. And for the top half of the box, I'll be using a piece of specialty cardstock from this Christmas pad that I've had in my stash that is seriously from 2016. So that's no longer available. And I cut that piece to 7 1/2 inches by 7 1/2 inches. I know a lot of you wonder why my cardstock curls like that. And it is because I store all of my scraps in the back, so it just kind of creates this bulge, making it wrap around it. But it's not a big deal. At the end of the project, everything is good. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're taking the bottom piece and we're going to score it at 1 inch on all 4 sides. So just score it at 1 inch, rotate it, and score it at 1 inch and rotate it. And when we are done with this, I'm going to be scoring the top piece. Now the top piece I'm only going to score at 3/4 of an inch on all sides, and the reason for that is that I want there to be a gap where you can easily remove the lid, and if the lid, the sides were the same length as the sides of the bottom, it would make it a little bit more challenging to remove, but not completely. Or of course, if you wanted to do that, you could also add a notch on the side. But now I've got these all scored, and so the next thing to do is just to fold inward like this on all of the score lines. And I'm going to be doing the same thing with the bottom. And then I'm going to come back with my scissors and we are going to do just a little bit of cutting. The cutting is going to be exactly the same on both pieces, so I'm just going to show you on this one. So I'm just going to be cutting along this score line right up to the next score line, so right there. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side, and then I'm going to completely flip it around so that these are on the opposite end, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut right up to there and right up to there. And so what I've done is I've created flaps that are going to be folding in. And what I like to do, just to make it easier when folding in, because sometimes you fold them in and they're not exactly, see if I can get that on camera. You'll see a little bit of it up there. So what I like to do is just cut in at a little angle, just kind of do a little mitering here, like that. So let me see, there you go. So it'll look like that. And I'm going to do that on all 4 of these little flaps. And it doesn't have to be perfect, so if you're wondering, well, how far, in do you do it? You'll notice that these two aren't exactly the same, but close enough. It doesn't matter. Basically, just try to do just a little tiny wedge, just about that much. Okay, so I'm going to finish doing this on, well, all 4 corners. There's only one left. And then I'm going to go back to the lid, which is the other piece. And I'm going to be doing all of the same things on this one, but I just wanted you to see what this looks like now. Okay, I'll be right back. To do the die cutting, I'm using my Sizzix Big Shot Switch Plus, and I'm going to layer it according to the directions that came on that mat. So I'm going to put that down, and then me set this up here. Put my cardstock down and lay my In Love Arts Reindeer and Forest background cutting die face down, and putting the other plate on top of that and right through the machine. I love it. It's electric. I don't have to crank. Okay, I really love not having to crank something. And you know what else I love? I love this wonderful reverse button. So that way I don't have to worry about if I have enough room on the other side to pull this all the way out, or if something just needs to go through twice. So let me pull it out. And wow, so far that cut beautifully, didn't it? Okay, let's see how the rest of it did. Oh yeah, all of the pieces are just popping right out. I love this. I always say that I don't know if it's the die that cuts so beautifully or if it's the Sizzix that cuts so beautifully, but I think it is a little bit of both. And so, you know what? I forgot my pokey tool. Do I need it? No, I got this. Let's see here. I just wanted you to see how beautifully that came out. So now I'll go see if there's anything else that needs poked out. Maybe little spots in the trees. Nope, I think everything is perfect. So now it's time to adhere this to the cardstock. I glued that absolutely beautiful die cut to some pearl glimmer cardstock from Paper Temptress, but I am sad to say that she's going out of business and that's no longer available. But I just wanted something elegant to adhere that die cut to, and it is just beautiful. Sorry about all the light reflections, but that's to be expected, you know, when using foil cardstock. So next, I'm going to be gluing that to the center of the lid. And to do that, I'm going to have to see where all my score lines are. So I'm going to be folding all of the edges in so that I can figure out where the center is. And I'm going to have to kind of work at that a little bit. So I'm going to do this off camera, just so that I'm not bumping the camera while I'm trying to fold everything under. But you will see when I get done that that's what it's going to look like on the top. And there it is on the lid. And I could have put this on afterwards, but it's just easier when I can put it flat so that I can, you know, press down and make sure that it's adhered really well. Other embellishments could probably be put on afterwards, but I just wanted to give you that tip so that you don't get the lid already and then realize you're having a hard time putting something on it. So we've got that done, and the next thing is the flaps. So the way that they're going to adhere is this part has to have the glue or double-sided tape on it, and then it's going to be folded in just like that. And so make sure that you're not putting the glue on this side, but you're putting it on the patterned side, okay? And so I'm going to add some double-sided tape. I'm going to be using a combination of double-sided tape and my Beacon 3-in-1. So it's not going to matter that I'm using 1/4 of an inch and that it's not going to completely, you know, cover it, because like I said, I'll just add the glue to the other parts. And the reason why I'm using both is because the double-sided tape will just help it stick immediately while the rest of the glue dries, because personally I think that my Beacon 3-in-1 holds much better than double-sided tape, or at least most double-sided tapes, even though they hold well. And I want my box to actually stay together and not come apart, you know, if they open and close it a few times. So I'm going to be doing the same thing to this one, putting it on the outside of the flap. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you how we're gluing it all together. Okay, I've got the double-sided tape on all of the flaps. As you can see, and these flaps were bigger, so I put 2 strips because I was using 1/4 inch, but I'll put the glue right down the middle there. So let's just start with this one. So removing the double-sided tape backing. And I'm going to add just a little bit of glue on either side. I am not putting glue on the double-sided tape because I want that to be able to grab, and if the glue is on it, then it covers it up and it's not grabbing right away. Of course, I'm getting glue all over my fingers here. But this is how simple it is. So just remove that backing and add a little bit of glue to either side of that. And I am just hoping you can see that really good. I'm just folding that under and folding that over. Just like that. And that creates the corners. So this could get really boring watching this, but I'm going to have you watch this one, and then I'm just going to do the other one off camera. So again, we have that flap. We're going to tuck it under this side, just like that. And of course, I got a little bit of my glue oozing out the side, but the nice thing about Beacon is it's clear and it also rubs off very easily. So as you can see, this box is really easy to make, and it's also easy to make in a variety of sizes to fit your needs. And I'm into math, so I can think of ways to make different size boxes. I mean, I can try to explain to you different ways, but I'm actually going to give you more directions on that at the end of this video. Okay, so there we go. It is done all the way around, and there is the lid. Now, I'll go do the bottom. And now the top and bottom is done, and one of the things you can do is go along the edges after you've glued it together and just kind of bend it in a little bit just to help shape it. And then your lid will fit on beautifully. So there's your box. I love that you can see the gold here along the bottom. And as I said earlier, I make the top a little bit shorter than the bottom so that it's easy to grasp and pull the lid off, because if it came all the way down, you'd kind of have to shake it off. And so that's how easy it was to make this box. You can decorate it as much as you want. I don't have a lot of embellishments to work with at this time, but I think it's beautiful just the way it is. If I did have some other things, I would probably be adding a bow up at the top, or maybe a tag or something like that. And this particular box is 6 inches square, and I wanted to show you that, let me grab this. It's a really nice size for a CD, if anybody still uses CDs. I do. And there's room for tissue paper and everything in there. But it is really easy to make this box in other sizes. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that here in a minute. And other than that, I'd love to know what you think. And now I'm going to show you the measurements for the box that I just made, as well as how to make size changes. Here are the measurements for the box that I made in this video, and you can pause this and write that down. And for a variation, if you would like a box that is 5 by 5, you could just cut each piece of cardstock 1 inch smaller each direction, as you can see here in the measurements, and the scoring stays the same. Or if you would rather have a rectangle box that is, let's say, 4 by 6, then you would make it 2 inches shorter in one direction as shown here, and again, all the scoring stays the same. Those are just a few examples of how to make adjustments for the 1 inch deep box, starting with the measurements for the 6 inch square box and making adjustments from there for the size you want. And I hope those couple examples help you understand the process so that you can easily make the box pretty much any size you want. Making gift boxes are great for any occasion, and I hope that my tutorial was easy to follow. Below in the description box, you'll find a link to the cutting die I used, as well as a 25% off discount code to In Love Arts should you decide to shop there. Thank you all so much for stopping by. Merry Christmas and happy crafting, everyone. Bye-bye.